All right, so it looks like we are recording. Welcome, everyone. My name is Brad Roltgen. I started this crypto meetup group about 3 years ago. It kind of got spawned off from a real estate investing group. We had been talking about cryptocurrencies, and so a lot of our focus is on, the investing standpoint as opposed to the personalities behind crypto and things like that. So that's kind of how we got started. We've got the page on Meetup as well as Facebook, and the goal is just to learn a little bit every month. My goal for you guys as well as myself is to leave the meeting with more information than I came with, and so that's the goal. Whether you're just starting, or we talk about a more advanced topic or something that none of us knew about. We've had members bring us things that hey, I found this out and shared with everybody, and we all go away with more information. So that's the goal, is just to learn a little more and kind of keep up with what's going on with crypto. There's so much going on that there's no way one person can keep up with everything. So part of the goal for me is talking to you guys and hey, what have you heard last week, this month, since we last met, what's going on, that kind of thing. So we can help each other do that. All right, so thanks for typing in some of those things there. Appreciate that. Good deal. All right, so my disclaimer: this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. The world of cryptos is literally like the Wild West, and so this is something you've got to handle on your own. There's no 800 number to call when you lose your password to log into your Wells Fargo account. So this is it's good and bad, but overall it's a good thing that it's the Wild West. But just got to keep that in mind. All right, cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are kind of like this shiny new washer and dryer set. They are kind of the thing in the financial monetary system now that's the hot new thing everybody's talking about. When you start seeing it on CNBC and all these business finance shows and that kind of stuff, something's going on. It seemed like back in 2017 when Bitcoin had its huge run up, it seemed almost like that the media was kind of hyping it there for a while, and then when the price crashed down, then it kind of went away from the mainstream media there a little bit. Also, meetings like this died down. There's used to be another Bitcoin group meeting in Fresno. They kind of focused a little more on the technology, personalities, and things behind the coins and the projects. And the gentleman there that was running the meeting mentioned, he goes, I should have realized the top was here when we had a couple grandmothers get wheeled into the meetings with their oxygen tanks that they were so interested in cryptos that literally people were coming off the streets to find out about Bitcoin and what was going on. But cryptocurrencies, I want you to think of them as just one of the appliances in your financial portfolio. You also you need your microwave, you need your dishwasher, and the other appliances as far as that goes. You may not actually need cryptos yet, but it's better to learn about them ahead of time so you can know what's coming and how they can help you and how they can work with the other financial instruments that you currently have. So real quick, our current monetary system, we're still using cash, although it looks like that might be going away soon. There's a kind of a trend or discussion about that. You may have heard them talking about some of the central banks talking about digital currencies, which is kind of what we almost already do today. A lot of us don't even use cash anymore. If you get your paycheck direct deposited, and then you do bill pay out of your checking account, and then you use your debit card to purchase gas, lunch, groceries, that kind of thing, you're pretty much using digital currencies now. You're not writing checks, you're not using cash, that kind of thing. And so cryptos, if you think of them just as another digital currency or being able to spend and use and invest money without touching it like we do cash, that type of thing. So I think at some point they're going to kind of merge together, and we're not going to realize, the big difference in the way that we use them day to day. And kind of the focus today is on using and practical uses of application or of cryptocurrencies. We're not going to get into the technology too much, or that kind of thing. That's never been our focus, and I don't, it's kind of a scary place to go, and we don't need to know, just like we don't know how our cars work and how that dishwasher motor works, that kind of thing. We just use the dishwasher and stick the key in the ignition and drive our cars. So that's kind of the approach that we're taking. So these other sections of the monetary system that we use: checking accounts, bank accounts, credit cards, brokerage accounts, gold and silver. And I'm kind of differentiating there the physical gold and silver that we'd keep, hopefully locked up in a safe somewhere, buried in the backyard, those kinds of things, as opposed to, paper gold and silver like the, the SLV and the GLD that you can buy on the stock market. So then we got cryptocurrencies. They're at the tail end of the list. Like I said, the newest and the shiniest one in the room. There's a great series called Hidden Secrets of Money, and you can find that on YouTube. And that's by a guy named Mike Maloney, which he has the website goldsilver.com if you're looking to buy any physical gold or silver. This isn't a pitch for the website or anything like that, but he does a great job really giving back. These videos are super high quality. He does a great job. If you have any literally kids under 18 that are learning about the world and hopefully learning about the financial system, these would be great videos to watch. They talk about how the Fed was started, why the dollar has lost value over the last 100 years, these kinds of things. Dave, I'll just shout out to you. If there's any way you could get this into some classrooms, that would be a tremendous impact for our society in general. But that's just a plug, since I know your day job there. All right, so fiat, we're starting to actually use the term fiat in the cryptocurrency space to differentiate between cryptocurrencies and old money, so to speak. And we are under a fiat monetary system, and I'll just read that real quick in case you're not seeing the video. So fiat means that it's an authoritative decree, sanction, or order. So fiat money is currency that a government has declared to be legal tender, but it is not backed by a physical commodity. The value of fiat money is derived from the relationship between money and demand rather than the value of the material that the money is made of. Historically, most currencies were based on physical commodities such as gold or silver, but fiat money is based solely on the faith and credit of the economy, and some say, the government. That's where that fiat currency comes from. And so what this means is that basically our money is just valued because somebody says it has value. If that changed, it's literally just a piece of paper. Whereas when we had gold and silver, that was actually a commodity that had use and had value. So before, like I said, before the cryptocurrencies, I never heard this term fiat, even though I understood after I had learned about the monetary system long after I graduated from high school. And so, being on a fiat system overall is generally not the best, but it's what we got, and so we're dealing with those issues. But you'll hear the term fiat in the world of crypto referring to money that comes from like a bank account. So you'll need to transfer fiat, quote unquote fiat, from your bank into an exchange to then use in the crypto space. So that's kind of how it's used in the crypto world. But just understand that this is kind of what the basis of the term is, and that's what our system is based on right now, which is a huge contrast between that monetary system and cryptocurrencies, because the cryptocurrencies are, the value there is based on the marketplace. So similar, but in order to create those currencies, they generally have to be mined. There has to be something, there's something behind them, which a lot of times the case is just energy. It takes energy to run these cryptocurrency miners, and that's where it comes from. But they didn't, nobody just said, hey, here's, 10 Bitcoins, and start giving them away, because they had to mine them and they had to actually put that energy and investment into the energy to get the Bitcoins out of them. Now there's some other coins that work a little differently, but it's interesting when people say, oh, that's just something on a computer, they just made that up. Well, there's a lot more backing, in my mind, there's a lot more backing Bitcoin than there is the US dollar. So that's an interesting debate, but we won't get into that today too much. So why cryptocurrencies? Why are these around? Why do people use them? Why are they interested in them? That kind of thing. So the first thing is speed. If you want to transfer, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, if you wanted to send $5,000 to your brother to buy a used car in Florida, you had to use Western Union or something like that. And Western Union probably took a 5% or a 3% cut. And it might take a day, a half a day, that kind of thing. You could do a wire transfer in your bank. Sometimes those took 2 or 3 days. Those have sped up over time, but cryptocurrencies can literally happen instantly. Sometimes there might be the Bitcoin blockchain is, the most popular, the largest one, and sometimes it gets bogged down. It might take a half an hour or an hour to confirm a transaction, but a lot of times you'll see it come through, 3 or 4 minutes. There's other ones that are near instantaneous. There's actually, not to confuse things too much, but there's a kind of a second layer on Bitcoin called the Lightning Network, and they've built that to handle day-to-day transactions, like buying a tank of gas, a cup of coffee, that kind of thing. And so those happen literally within seconds. The first time I was exposed to the Lightning Network was a couple years ago, actually at that other meeting, and the gentleman there was actually giving all of us a little bit of Bitcoin if we set up a wallet. And so he transferred like 75 cents to each of us, and it went through the system. Was the main node was in Australia, and so he would scan a QR code on our phone and hit the send button, and literally 3 seconds later it popped up, in each of our wallets on those phones. It was that fast. And then the cost of doing that, very minimal costs most of the time. Sometimes, like I said, on the Bitcoin network, things get bogged down. There's a lot of traffic, and the cost of the transactions, it might cost $3 or $4, $5, $7 to do a transfer. Sometimes it maybe to transfer $100, it might cost $5, which is crazy, but the network gets slowed down, and that's kind of what happens, because it is it's an open thing, and the miners charge more, and if there's more demand, they charge more, and that's kind of what happens. There's also other ones that, the Tron network is kind of getting bigger now. You can send Tron within seconds, and it costs, a half a penny or something like that. So it kind of just depends on the application and the coin that you're using. The other thing is freedom. These coins, the whole cryptocurrency thing, there's no, first of all, we'll talk about Bitcoin in that regard. There's no company behind Bitcoin. There's no government behind Bitcoin. It's a consensus of people working on the project. It's the miners. It's the people that run the nodes to support the network. And so they're doing their thing. And, you have the freedom to use it or not use it, which is, is not the freedom that we or lack of freedom that we enjoy in the country. We're stuck with using US dollars. We can't just use, go around and pay for things with silver coins or pesos or euros or anything like that. We're stuck with, dollars here. With cryptos, we can, pick and choose what we want to do. If and this has happened where, something happened on the Ethereum network, and people decided, well, wait, we want to do this, and then there's another group that said, no, we want to do it a different way, and so that Ethereum network split, and now we have Ethereum and we have Ethereum Classic, and people have the freedom to use either one or both, and go from there with their specific projects or use cases. That's happened a number of times. People have split off of Bitcoin. You might hear the term Bitcoin Cash. There's Bitcoin Gold. There's Bitcoin SV, and probably a whole nother list of them, that those projects have split off of the original Bitcoin blockchain. Back then, when they were doing that, it worked out very well for a lot of people, because if you had coins on one chain and they split the chain off, they literally had a copy of the blockchain and split it. They call it to fork it to a new chain, and whatever coins you had on the one chain, all of a sudden you had on the other chain. So if you had 10 Bitcoins and then they split it off and had Bitcoin Cash, now you had 10 coins of Bitcoin Cash as well. So a lot of people benefited in that regard. All right. So here's some of the terms that we're going to talk about going forward here. So just so you kind of understand what this blockchain is, and kind of like where is Bitcoin, how does how does it work? The blockchain is just a big database. Think of it like your list of contacts in your phone. That's a database, and you've got each block here they've got represented, and there's a certain amount of information that is in each block. And so when enough information is created, which are basically transactions of 10 coins going from one address to another address, or a half a coin from this address to that address, that is the information that goes in a block, and then that goes on the blockchain. And so it's just literally like a chain that, each block, it just keeps growing and growing and growing every day. So that's what the blockchain is. And it's most of the chains, pretty much all of the public ones are open to the public. You can actually go and view them. And so if you have somebody's address, you could go back forever and see when and how much coins were transferred in and out, and so that people talk about, drug dealers are using, Bitcoin and that kind of thing. Well, it's the absolute opposite of storing cash under your mattress, because if the authorities or anybody had that address for that drug dealer, they could go onto the blockchain and see every transaction, and they could see every address that sent them funds. So if you were the drug dealer, somebody got your address, then the authorities could go back and see all the other addresses that sent funds to you, to buy the drugs from you. And then they're like, well, here's all your customers. And they could, backtrack it from there. Now, they don't have the person's name or their address, or the, physical address or location or phone number, anything like that. But all of those transactions that happen are on, the public blockchain. There are some privacy coins, Monero being the biggest and oldest one, that they are built to kind of split up transactions and send them to, so you can't track them, basically, is just a simple way to explain it. So if you hear about Monero, we don't hear about it too much, but there's been some kind of a little bit of pushback from the governments and these kind of things, trying to maybe outlaw the privacy coins because they can't track them. So that's, that'll be an issue that we'll, deal with. So that is the blockchain. And if you guys have any questions along the way, either jump in, with a question, or type something in the chat room, and we'll try to answer that as we go. I don't, we might forget the question by the time we get to the end here. And yeah, Andy got the blue wallet. We can talk about that. Oops. Bitcoin mobile, and oh yeah, good. And it was some news. Yeah, we'll talk about a couple news sites too, where you can find some good crypto news. Okay. beyond the blockchain, the kind of the technology that we're talking about is distributed ledger. And this just means that the information is spread out across multiple computers. It's not a central database where one person has control, or somebody could come in and, you know, nuke or bomb or set the building on fire and everything, you know, goes away type of thing. As far as that goes. So if you hear about the term distributed ledger technology, that's kind of the idea or the concept behind crypto. And a blockchain is a type of distributed ledger as far as that goes. And so what we're talking again here is decentralized versus centralized. If you think of like using your Visa card, that is a centralized process where you swipe the card, it goes back to your Visa account, and the central Visa data center looks at their computers and say, okay, does John have enough, you know, money for this $50 charge to go through? Yes or no? You know, it gets declined or approved, and away you go from there. How it works on the blockchain is on the left here is you've got thousands, literally thousands of computers all talking to each other, validating those transactions and processing those transactions. And that is what the mining, and if you heard the term miners or mining, that's what they're doing, is they're taking that transaction and building those blocks onto the blockchain. And we have more than one computer doing that, because it's a way to prove that that happened. So if you do that transaction and 10 miners pick up and record that transaction around the country, around the world, then that's deemed to be a legitimate transaction, because one computer could get hacked, or somebody could be doing something maliciously to kind of fake a transaction, you know, in one spot, but you can't fake a transaction in 30 different miners located around the world. So sometimes these, what'll happen is let's see. I had a kind of a warning pop up from the meeting site. Is everybody still okay? Maybe type in chat or just tell me if everything still looks okay.
Yeah.
We're still good? Okay. Thank you. All right. So that's why there's multiple computers going on. And you hear the term decentralized, it just means that there's multiple computers, or nodes is a term that's used to represent, you know, each computer that's working on the blockchain, you know, working to keep those transactions honest. So what we have on the right here is kind of your traditional data center, you know, that Visa or MasterCard might own. And looks like that. On the left here, these are some mining rigs. And see, some of you've got some background noise there. I don't know if you can mute yourself. I can get to that screen here. Let's see. Yeah, okay, thank you, whoever that was. All right, so what we have on the left here are some mining rigs. And so these are the type of things that are actually running the network. And what we're looking at here is like on this, I don't know if you can hopefully see my little pointer here. Oh wait, no, you can't there. Anyway, on the left, if you look at that one on the top left, there's 6 graphics cards at the top. And then at the bottom is just a standard computer motherboard with a power supply. And so those graphics cards are what are processing the transactions. And they're using the graphics cards because there's more power in the GPUs, or the graphic processing units on the graphics card, than is in the power on the CPU, which is what runs the computer, you know, on the motherboard. So by chaining multiple graphics cards, we can get more power out of one motherboard, one power supply, that kind of thing. And so these kind of mining rigs started, you know, people just running them at home. Now we've got warehouses full of these things in Iceland and other strategic locations where the power is a little bit less expensive, that kind of thing, where it's, you know, it's colder, because these things generate a tremendous amount of heat. People think, oh yeah, my computer gets warm or whatever, but no, these things generate heat, so that becomes an issue. I was mining back in 2017, 2018, and I had two mining rigs in our living space in the house, and I only turned the heater on twice that year. I had another two running in my garage, and the garage, you know, here in Fresno, didn't get lower than 68 degrees. You know, this is, you know, which I love, because I normally don't like the winter time, because you go in the garage, it's freezing, but having those mining rigs was great for that. So that's something to consider if you're mining between the power and the electrical use. So that's what the mining rigs look like. I've got a couple here. This is actually one that I was running in my garage, just to give you an idea. And the idea is to throw as many of those graphics cards, because like I said, that's where the power is. And anybody can do this. Dave, watch out when that new computer shows up in your home. If somebody learns that they can make money running this thing 24/7, you may see your PG&E bill go up. So we can talk about that later, but just a heads up. Here's another one. And
I'll buy more solar.
Exactly. You know, and there's a gentleman that I built a 12-card rig for, and he was motivated. He said, hey, I just put a solar system on, and so I have extra capacity. And so that was his motivation to do that. So that's a thing. But yeah, so here's another mining rig, and I've been a computer geek for over 30 years, so I have extra parts sitting around. So when I discovered this mining thing back in 2017, I literally bought whatever graphics cards I could find on the cheap, because they were pretty expensive at the time, because everybody was trying to do this. And then I just took all these various old computer parts and just put them together, built what I had. I like cobbled together a couple power supplies, like you can see on this one. I blew up a couple power supplies in the learning process. Again, they're using the graphics cards are literally running at 99% capacity. So they're using a lot of power, and, you know, blowing power supplies if you don't set them up with enough, you know, big enough power supply, that kind of thing. So it was interesting. Also, I was mining on my an old cell phone. Right here that's what you see a picture of. And I'm actually currently mining. I have a couple small, I have an off-grid solar system, and I'm using that to mine on two old cell phones right now, which has always kind of been my goal, is to, all right, if I can mine without having to pay, you know, crazy amount of money for energy, you know, it would pay off. Because sometimes, like here in Fresno, when you're paying so much for the energy, you know, you might make, you know, $100, but it costs you $150 or $200 in power to do that. So it doesn't always make sense. But on solar, you know, once you pay for the panels, hopefully good after that. Another thing I'm doing here, this is I don't know if anybody's heard of them, but this is called a Raspberry Pi. This little black box here, and it's basically a little computer the size of about a box of cigarettes, or box of cigarettes, and then a little laptop hard drive. So that is actually running a Bitcoin node as well as a Lightning node on top of it. And so this is something that's not going to use very much energy. It's not mining like the, you know, the mining rigs are doing, but this is a node for Bitcoin as well as the Lightning network, and it just validates the transaction. So it has a copy of the Bitcoin blockchain, which is currently about 300 gigabytes. And I set this thing up about 2 weeks ago, and it's still downloading and syncing the entire blockchain. And it's probably going to take about a month to do that at the rate it's going right now. But I'm doing this to support the network and, you know, be part of the solution type of thing, as well as hopefully get set up on the Lightning Network to work kind of as a payment processor by setting up channels between various nodes, and then I can set a fee for transactions going through my node, and hopefully make a little bit of money. You know, fractions of a cent at a time, but over thousands of transactions. Hopefully, you know, it might add up to something. But I had these components sitting around, and like I said, it doesn't take up too much electricity, so I decided to do that and kind of get involved there. And I've always been a tinkerer and like the computer part of it, so I like, you know, kind of fiddling with this stuff. This next one here, this is kind of my goal, and what this is a very large mining farm. They call them mining farms, and each of these, if you see on each shelf, there's 6. Actually, they're different types of mining rigs, but these are probably mining Bitcoin, and this is probably in you know, Northern Europe, Sweden, somewhere where it's cold like that, and they don't have to worry about cooling or ventilating as much, this kind of thing. But this, I mean, you can just see rows. Anyway, I won't go on too much there, but that would be my goal, to have enough capital to mine that much. All right. We don't hear this term as much anymore, but there still is the FUD, or the fear, uncertainty, and doubt about all this crypto stuff. You know, people kind of poo-poo it, and you know, oh, that's not going to lead to anything. That's just, you know, a bunch of freaks running their computers or that kind of thing. Well, you know, it's kind of progressed, and so, you know, it may be FUD to you, but a lot of people are using these things. So the FUD has kind of just been a fun term that we throw around to kind of make fun of people that kind of don't understand. One of the biggest ones is Jamie Dimon, the fearless leader of Chase, JP Morgan Chase. He's, you know, said Bitcoin is a fraud several times. Here's a chart and showing when he's mentioned that, and this just runs up through a few years ago. And, you know, there was a couple times when he mentioned, you know, that Bitcoin was a fraud when he had his European division working on crypto projects. So it's kind of like, you know, don't listen to what they say, watch what they do type of thing. So, you know, kind of just take everything you hear from the mainstream media and these big banking institutions with a grain of salt, because this cryptocurrency stuff is a challenge to what they've been doing for decades. And, you know, with the freedom that it gives people, that, you know, it can kind of challenge what they're doing, and, you know, hopefully step on their toes, because heaven knows they've been making money on us for, you know, for generations, and maybe it's, you know, time for us to make a little bit of that money they've been making on all of us for years. The other term that's interesting is HODL, which stands for hold on for dear life. Somebody mentioned earlier the roller coaster of cryptos, which, you know, kind of leads to that fear and uncertainty, that kind of thing. So somebody came up with this term that they said, hey, I'm just hodling, you know, I'm holding on for dear life, which basically means you got your cryptos and you don't care if the price goes up or down. You're just holding because you know in the future they're going to be worth more, and you're just, you know, it's like saving for retirement. Just because something happens doesn't mean you cash out, you know, when you're 42 or switch. You know, you hold on because you still got years to retire, that kind of thing. So if you hear the term HODL or HODL, I think HODL is the way I like to pronounce it. That's what that means. All right. Here's a question for you. Anybody know how many cryptocurrencies there are? Maybe type into chat real quick if you know how many, or unmute yourself, and how many cryptocurrencies are out there.
Hundreds.
Okay. Good. Okay. Got over 6,000.
10,000. 10,000.
Yeah. I don't think there's an exact answer. It kind of depends where you look, where you where you look, and which how up to date their deal is. Let me show you. I'm gonna stop sharing this for a second and go to share something else here, because I want you to write down that first one I had there was Coin Market Cap is a site that will show you all the cryptos, and I want you guys to use it as a resource, kind of for your research, that kind of thing. And yeah, since we got it up here real quick, here's our meetup group. And if you click on events or scroll down, you see the upcoming events. I did schedule another one for 2 weeks from now. In the past, when we've done this kind of beginners focus, I've had people ask, hey, what do I do next? How do I move forward? So that's kind of what our step 2 is going to be, is, actually setting up wallets, transferring it to exchanges, that kind of thing. We also have our Facebook group. It's just called Fresno Bitcoin and Cryptocurrency Investors. I did put a link in the chat early on. Will, are you on? I don't know if I see Will on here. I do want to show you real quick. I get a kick out of this. You guys are feel free to post and comment on the Facebook page. It's weird. We don't, even though Facebook is obviously more popular, we seem to get more people finding us and interacting with the meetings on the meetup. But just to show you here what's happened, because we've got over 2,000 members, but some of them are not legitimate members, we'll say. And if I've had to block or I guess basically block the people from posting, because we're getting postings like this. And if those of you that have been around since the Nigerian scam letters of the, I don't know, the 70s, or the emails or whatever, these are kind of like, I think are the current version of that. And so half the time I can't even tell what they're trying to do, but I'm getting all these people that post all these things that want you or me or us to go to these things and do whatever, so they're saying, stop trading, losing your money, join and earn massive with Forex earners, and these kind of things. So if you post on the page and it doesn't show up right away, it's because I have to approve it, because if I left this thing open, these people were just slamming the page with posts. Like you can see, this was from an hour ago, 10 hours ago, this kind of thing. So please use the page, but if you see your posts don't show up right away, check back a little bit. So let me show you here, Coin Market Cap. Like I said, I want you guys to use this for research on the coins and finding out a little bit more. So if you go to their homepage, this is what shows up. And I'm not sure why this Wall Street Bets shows up first, because I don't understand. But the trick I want to show you is, if you click on this number up here where it says cryptocurrencies, and we're currently at 8,407. If you click on that, it's actually going to give you a different version. And this is the one I like to look at, because first thing is that Wall Street Bets goes away. But the part I like to see is that it shows what's happened in the last hour, the last 24 hours, and the last 7 days. So right now we're looking at Bitcoin, and here's the symbol. This is the market cap of Bitcoin. So we're currently looking at $751 billion. At the top here, we've got the total market cap, which we're at 1.2 trillion. We just went over a trillion about a month ago. And just to give you an idea, when I first got involved in 2017, active, I think I bought my first coin and did stuff in 2014, but I really got going in 17. This market cap number was 78 billion. So obviously a lot lower than it is now. During the run up, when the the Bitcoin went over 20,000, that kind of thing, this number went up almost to 800 billion. 800 billion. So, and then it went down after that to like 200, and we've slowly been working our way back up. But just to give you an idea, the part I like looking at this too up here, says Bitcoin dominance, and that illustrates what percentage Bitcoin makes up of the entire market. And they're usually about between 58 and 66%. So obviously they're a big player, in the market. And, usually Bitcoin is the first coin that people buy, and then you kind of, go out from there. But you can see, here what's happened over the last 7 days, 24 hours, 1 hour, that kind of thing. Where this is useful and helpful in researching, and let me pick a coin. Well, I'm going to pick, let's see, Theta has been my kind of a long shot coin for me, and it's paying off. But just to kind of illustrate how I want you guys to use this, if you click on the coin name, it's going to take you to a page just for that coin with some more detail. And so the first thing you like to look at the chart and see all time. This is what's been going on with the coin. You can say, okay, just for the past 3 months, what has it been doing? Just for the past month, that kind of thing. So that's interesting to look at. But then it also up here, it's got links to the home page for that project or that coin. So this is the thetatoken.org. You can find that. So obviously there you can go there and learn more about that specific coin. And then one of the big ones is if you click on market, it will show you the exchanges or the markets where this coin is traded. And so if you want to buy this coin, you're going to have to go buy it at one of these exchanges. And then it'll also show you the pairs that it trades against. So for example, if you want to buy Theta, from Binance, you're going to have to buy it with USDT. Or here's another option, you can buy it with BTC, which is Bitcoin, and it kind of shows you how much volume is traded in each one. If you're so ideally, if you wanted to buy this coin from Binance, you would send USDT to that exchange and buy, because you generally want to buy where there's more volume. You're going to get a better price. It's going to, everything's updated quicker, that kind of thing. But you can scroll all the way down and see all the different exchanges that are selling or trading that coin, and then what they, the trading pairs that they're using. So obviously Bitcoin was the big one. USDT is something that's called a stable coin, and that represents basically $1. And it, like we talked about the fiat and all this stuff before, it's kind of funny that we're trading with something that is trying to mimic the fiat dollar, but for our brains, it's an easier way to trade, because it's like, I can price it. We're used to pricing things in dollars, where if you try to price Theta in BTC, that gets complicated, and it's sometimes it's easier for us to think in terms of dollars. So that is kind of helpful. Also, when you trade out of it, then you're kind of trading back to something that is more stable, as opposed to going up and down. So when you see USDT, there's also USD. That's a stable coin for the dollar, and a few others. Then if you want to find out more about that exchange, you just click on the exchange, like Binance here. And so it'll show you the website, the fees, this kind of thing. And then it'll show you which coins that they trade. So kind of the reverse way of looking at it. And so here it's showing you that 22% of their volume is in Bitcoin against USDT, then Ethereum, this kind of thing. So that is the main way that I want you guys to use this site to hunt around. So if somebody tells you, hey, like in the news lately, you might have heard this Dogecoin, because it went crazy right after that whole GameStop hoopla. And so you're like, well, what the heck is Dogecoin? And so you can use the search box up here to search and find out anything, because you're obviously going to have a long time scrolling through 8,000 coins if you just want to scroll up and down. So use that search box. So here, this Dogecoin was ranked, it's ranked number 12, which is pretty good considering it's kind of a nothing coin. But you can see here, recently the price has spiked. And this kind of happened right after that thing with Fiasco or GameStop. So somebody gave me a heads up on it. I don't know, Dave, if he's on with us, but he texted me, said, hey, the Reddit people are going after Dogecoin. And I'm like, great, because I'm sitting on a bunch of Dogecoin I've had for years and just never did anything with. And so it was about a little less than a penny, for this whole time back here. You can see, okay, yeah, here, 0.0086, so 0.86 of a penny. So I've been sitting on it this whole time. Well, all of a sudden it goes flying up, and I'm like, well, heck, let me get out. So I sold out at about 4.5 cents, and was happy, kind of thing. So, and then that's just because I was hodling it, and I'm, that's not advice to sit on these coins, but this is kind of some of the crazy stuff that can happen. So if somebody mentions a coin and you're like, okay, let me research it, come to CoinMarketCap. You can search, that kind of thing. Any questions or comments or other ways you guys are using this site? I know these guys have been around probably the longest for sites that do this kind of thing. Where did my chat window go here? Yeah, hopefully you guys are keeping. Oh yeah, Elon helped with Doge for sure. Thank you. The other one there that I mentioned was CoinGecko, is another site that keeps track of the market. And if you look at this one, where are we? Oh, this one is only listing 6,000 coins. Usually the CoinMarketCap is a little more conservative. So you can look at same kind of thing here. And they've got some news and this kind of thing. So anyway, I want to share that with you, so you could use these two sites to research the coins and just kind of see what's going on and learn about them. There's something called, sometimes these coins will be referred to as projects, because generally, oh, hey, finance. Oh, you're right. Binance does not have Theta. Yeah, somebody posted. You do have to go to Binance.com. The rumor is that Theta is going to be coming to CoinMarketCap. And thank you for the reference to Bix Weir on Road to Ruta. He's been a cheerleader for that and has shared about that. And that's where I've gotten some information or insight and started looking at it. But each of the coins or projects has what they call a white paper. And that is their basically summary or strategy of why they're bringing out the coin, what they're going to do with it, and that kind of thing. So if in a perfect world and you had all the free time you wanted, you would go, somebody mentioned a coin to you, you would go to the website and read the white paper, and not just buy it because Elon Musk tweeted about it, type of thing. But if you want to, invest and learn about these things, go to the website, read the white paper, see what they want to do. Theta is actually the first coin that I read the white paper on, because I didn't, I was just jumping in and out of some of these things too, like most people do. But I read the white paper there, and I kind of have a video game background, and what they were doing with video games and streaming and these kind of things made a lot of sense. And it talked about the people that were involved with them, some of the founders from YouTube, these kind of things. There links to Samsung and some other big players. And so I'm like, holy cow, this is, I think this place is a long-term run. So, definitely use that place to research the coins. All right, so let me get back to the other slide here. And where are we here? I'm gonna share. All right. Okay. All right, so we're back up to wallets. So the wallet is where you're going to store your cryptos. Although I want to give you guys a little caveat to that, because we use the term wallet because we're used to that analogy. You know, we put our cash in our wallet, we put our wallet in our pocket or our purse, you know, go with life. If we lose our wallet, you know, then we lost the cash in there. So I want to kind of explain a little bit, because the cryptos are actually stored on the blockchain. And so you could lose your wallet and they're still in the blockchain. You just you can't access them. So what actually is stored in the wallet is your private key. And I'll show you guys what a private key and what an address looks like on a future slide. But just so you understand, the crypto and the information is stored on the blockchain that never goes away. There's thousands of computers that are, you know, have a copy of the whole blockchain, and so that information is not going to go away. But what the wallet actually does is store the private key, which allows you to access the wallet and your coins in there, and lets you send them to somebody else and use them. But we've got a few different kinds of wallets. There's some that are web-based, and this is where you literally go to a website, you put in either a password or your private key or a seed phrase to be able to access them. You can store, you can have a wallet on your computer, you know, your desktop computer, or on a cell phone, same type of thing. A hardware wallet, or cold storage that a lot of people call them, and then a paper wallet or an exchange. The downside to the exchange wallets is they hold your private keys. And I apologize. Well, I guess that's something I'm seeing on my screen. Anyway, so the pardon the pun, but the key to this whole thing with the wallets is who holds your private keys. If you have a half of a Bitcoin on an exchange because you're trading back and forth, and the exchange goes away, you've lost everything. You're pretty much done. And that's happened with Mt. Gox back in the 2014, something like that. And I've actually lost some funds from a exchange called Cryptopia, and they went away, and you know, I'm done. So you never want to hold any funds on an exchange unless you're trading them. If you've got, for example, if you've got 10 Bitcoin and you're only trading about 1 Bitcoin on a regular basis, you want to hold 9 of those Bitcoins on a hardware wallet or somewhere where you control the private keys, and just use that 1 Bitcoin on the exchange, you know, where you're, so if they go down, you've only lost that 1 Bitcoin, you haven't lost all 10, type of thing. So that's kind of the list of wallets. These are some easy to use wallets that I wanted to throw out, just so you kind of had some names to work with. This Exodus wallet, actually I saw it on a news site that it had one easiest to use for 2020, or that kind of thing. So this is a good place for you guys to start, and start with the desktop version of it. You can download it at exodus.io, and then they have an app for your phone, and you can link the two together. So you can, you know, you end up having the private keys in both places, but you can use them, your phone, if you just want to monitor what's going on, or if, you know, you can, you know, watch your coins, you can spend them that way as well. Oh, sorry about that. The next one. Go ahead.
On the Exodus, just to let you know, right, they're collecting interest for an ICO. So I don't know if you think that would be worthwhile to try and get into, and it would be accredited and non-accredited investors.
Oh, for an ICO for themselves?
Yep.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It's on their website, so I just updated the app. You know, the desktop application. It has a special page for it, and you can put your interest in there if you're interested.
Okay, good. Okay, so yeah, so that's a good place to start. The other one, a lot of times people are just doing these on the phones these days. I mean, it's like the kids. think about doing things on their phones before the computers, where I'm an older guy and I guess I think about the computer first. Um, a couple good ones here are the Trust Wallet as well as the Clever Wallet. And with both of those, you can actually buy coins using a debit card um, uh, within the app. So you could literally, be sitting at Starbucks or wherever. I guess you can't really sit at Starbucks anymore. Sorry about that. Kind of sore subject. But you could be sitting in your car somewhere, download the app, put in your debit card, and they usually recommend a debit card as opposed to a credit card because the way they work, you might get hit with a cash advance fee. So where possible, use a debit card. And buy $50 is the minimum on both of those, the Trust and the Clever, per transaction. You can't buy $5, but you can, $50 enough, you can buy a coin and have it in your wallet and away you go. So that's a real quick and easy way to do it. As far as that goes, if you're going to choose one of these, I would probably start with the Clever Wallet. It also supports dApps, which are decentralized applications, and we're probably going to talk about those down the road. That's kind of where things get interesting and you can do things. The Trust Wallet might support a few more different coins. The Clever Wallet used to be called the Tron Wallet, and so it's kind of started with there, but it supports, Ethereum, Bitcoin, all these other things. The Cash App, you can use and buy. It only supports Bitcoin. The nice thing is they'll give you a debit card. I don't know if you guys can see the screen. I'll hold up my little debit card here. They sent me. It's kind of cool. It's blank on the front with just my signature. But they'll actually send you a debit card so you can transfer fund in such a way that you can spend your Bitcoin or your cryptos using a debit card at a traditional restaurant, grocery store, whatever. Okay, here's a question I saw real quick on it. Thanda, thank you for the Exodus only has one password to access all the coins because each one should have their own. Correct. So how that works is the password gets you into the wallet. The wallet actually stores the private keys, and you can access them. From what I remember, I think you have to press Control D for developer mode, and then you'll get because normally this is hidden on the Exodus wallet. I'm talking about the desktop one. But if you hit Control D, it puts you into developer mode, and you get traditional Windows drop downs like File, Edit, that kind of thing in the upper left. And there'll be a drop down there for export or private keys or something, and you can go in and export your private keys there and save them onto your computer locally and that kind of thing. So it's kind of a two-step process where Exodus is holding and storing those private keys for Ethereum, for Doge, for Bitcoin, for everything in the wallet, but that password is getting you into the wallet. It's kind of like, you leave all your car keys in your house, but you have the one key to get into the house, and then you get the car keys for whichever car you want to use. Hopefully that answers that. And maybe on a future, like that next meeting with the wallets, we can bring that up and show you, but it's I think it's Control D, but it's like developer mode. You can probably Google it and get info there if you wanted to store those private keys. Because literally with that private key and address, you can go anywhere in the world and access those funds. So that's where that control is, and the freedom is good. Okay, so these are the easy to use wallets. This is what a hardware wallet looks like, or cold storage. And so this is like a little thumb drive, and it plugs into your USB on your computer, and the private keys are actually in this thumb drive, and you have an interface on the computer to access those private keys while the device is connected. So we call it cold storage because when you disconnect the device, it's not connected to the internet. There's no way those private keys can get to the internet, to the blockchain to access your funds, your address, that kind of thing. These are a little more cumbersome to use because you have to interface and plug it in, and but it's kind of designed that way because you're not just, you know, pulling out a $5 bill to buy a Big Mac kind of thing. You're only going to, you know, this is like, okay, I'm transferring funds from my savings to my retirement account or my brokerage account to this or whatever. You know, you're not doing these every day, that kind of thing. So this is what they look like. These are kind of these top two, the Ledger Nano and the Trezor are the two big players. This Keep Key is kind of bringing up third spot, at least in my mind. But you could look for the Ledger Nano or the Trezor. Or, you know, you can't go too wrong there. They are limited on some of the models where they'll only support a certain amount of coins. They support a lot of coins overall, but depending on the model, you may only be able to store or hold 4 or 5 coins because of the space limitations in it. So that's where they're kind of a little bit of a restriction. I'm sure they've got newer models and they're always coming out with updates and that kind of thing. But you know, if you have, you know, 20, 30, 50, 100, $200,000 of Bitcoin, you probably want to store it on one of these and keep this device in your you know, in your safe deposit box, you know, that kind of thing. There. This next one is this is what a paper wallet looks like, and a website like this one was generated by myetherwallet.com, which is for the Ethereum blockchain. And so that top line there where it says your address, that's what a cryptocurrency wallet address looks like. You know, you're not going to remember that, so to speak, but that's your address. And that address is public. You can give that out to people, and all they can do is send funds to you. You know, just like you would say, you know, here's my PayPal address. You know, send me $20 because I bought lunch yesterday or whatever. But the private key below there is what you never, ever, ever want to give away, because if you have that, you have full access and control over the funds in your wallet. So the private key you can see is a few more characters, and but you know, same mishmash of digits. They have the QR codes on here. So the theory is you would, you know, for safekeeping, like we talked about earlier, you would dump maybe 90 or Bitcoin onto one of these wallets and then print it out and put this in your safe. The nice thing with this is you could actually print out a second copy, a third copy, put one in your safe at home, one in your safe deposit box at the bank that hopefully is you know, more fireproof and that kind of thing. And because if you lose this in the private key, you know, your 9 Bitcoin are gone, that kind of thing. You know, you could also keep this in your wallet, you know, and walk around with it. It might be kind of scary, although not a lot of people would know what to do with it. But if, you know, somebody mugged you and got your wallet, they could have access to your 9 million or your 9 Bitcoin. So that's what the wallets look like. And you could, this private key is what we were talking about earlier, what is in Exodus, and this is the information that it's storing. And so you could pull that out, copy and paste that to something else. But to be secure, you really don't want to have these things on digital devices that somebody could hack, or, you know, a virus, you know, malware is running or that kind of thing. So be careful what you do with your private keys as far as storing them in multiple places for safety, because you could be opening yourself up to, you know, vulnerability. All right, so let's talk about exchanges for a little bit. Here's just kind of a few of the popular ones. Generally, I've always recommended that people start at Coinbase, because Coinbase would link to your bank account in the fiat world, and that was kind of your bridge to get from the fiat world over into crypto. With these other wallets, like we mentioned, the Trust Wallet and the Clever Wallet being able to buy with a debit card, that kind of solves that problem, because the challenge is kind of bridging between the crypto world and the fiat world. So Coinbase was always a good place to start. They're like the biggest one, been around the longest. The fees are a little pricey if you're just wanting to exchange coins. So if you want to exchange coins, they have their Pro Coinbase that you might want to use, and a few other exchanges, Kraken, Poloniex, Bittrex. I put up eToro. They've been advertising more lately, and so I set up an account. Okay, I'll take a look at whatever, and I'm like, wait a minute. This is an exchange that does not even support cryptos in the sense of being able to transfer the cryptos to and from the exchange. So they're literally just a paper trading exchange, which to me is the absolute opposite of what we're trying to do. So that's why I put no there. So for their system to, to work with eToro, you would, transfer $1,000 there, use that $1,000 to buy and sell coins. And then at the end, you've got hopefully $1,500, and you transfer the $1,500 back to your bank account. But you can't transfer the $1,500 in Bitcoin to your wallet type of thing. So to me, it just makes no sense. And I don't know, I'm almost embarrassed for him, but yeah, Robinhood. So, and is Robinhood the same way? Andy, thank you for that. Is it, you can't transfer crypto to and from Robinhood? All right. So yeah, okay. Yeah, that sucks. Okay, so there's two not to use for crypto. But we'll talk about exchanges in more detail next time and go through that process. So here's a few coins. Bitcoin, obviously the biggest player, been around, longer. I kind of think of them as MySpace compared to Facebook and Ethereum. And I say that because, MySpace was this huge social media thing back before social media was a thing. They were built to do a specific thing, post pictures, put what you were eating for lunch, whatever. Facebook came along, and when they built their system, they built it as a platform so other people could build code or programs or apps or whatever on top of their network. And I had developed a couple Facebook apps back in 2008, 9, 10, around there, where it was for a video game thing where people would come to the page and then they would put in information about the video games that they had. But I, as the app developer, had access to their name, their email, their age, their geographic location, all that Facebook information. And so it allowed app developers to do some amazing things in conjunction with that Facebook platform. And that's why I think Facebook has thrived, because all these people have done that and come up with these ingenious ways, to interact with people and their data and that kind of thing. And so Ethereum is kind of the same way, where it's, you've got the coins, or they kind of refer to them as tokens. But other people can build what they call smart contracts on top of the Ethereum blockchain, as well as people can make their own coins on the Ethereum blockchain. So if you wanted to come out with your own coin but didn't want to have a whole network, you could just make an Ethereum type of coin, and it would be supported by the Ethereum blockchain. So there's a lot more interesting things going on with and around Ethereum compared to Bitcoin, just the way that they were set up. So that's why I kind of have that analogy there. Tron is another one that allows smart contracts, and right now we're seeing more smaller projects come up on Tron because it's a lot less expensive to do transactions and interact with that blockchain. Ethereum has gotten bigger and slower and more expensive to use. So this is kind of where we've got that freedom. Hey, if Ethereum is expensive, we'll go to Tron, these kind of things. So it's, survival of the fittest or the best, or that kind of a thing. A few other ones here. Litecoin. Litecoin has been around a long time. it seems like their strategy is to be used as a means of exchange, which is, meaning day-to-day type activities, as opposed to Bitcoin seems to be now outside of the Lightning Network. It seems to be more of a store of value. So kind of like saving your gold, big money in gold, but spending your money in silver type of thing. So there's kind of that gold-silver relationship, maybe between Bitcoin and Litecoin type of thing. Ripple or XRP, some people have called this the banker's coin. They've, been involved with some different financial institutions. There's also, there's a company behind Ripple, and they're doing some other things beyond just the coin. So that's an interesting one to look at. And then my long shot there, Theta, is for hosting videos, but in a distributed way. So if you think of it like YouTube, but instead of YouTube having the central data centers, they're doing that on computers all over the world, and they're paying people to do that. And I actually have been doing that for a while. I just have a little thing running on my desktop computer that's on all the time, and then they pay actually, and there's another sister coin called Theta Fuel. So I earn Theta Fuel by letting them store videos on my computer. Now, they're not taking up a lot of space. Exactly how it all works, I'm not sure technically, but I leave it running and they pay me in Theta, and I'm earning coins, and it doesn't take up a lot of power, electricity or power of my computer, that kind of thing. Yeah. All right. So that's some coins you might want to look at. We're not here to, recommend coins, buy this, get into this project, trying to sell you on something or anything. Just kind of, here's a few you might want to look at if you're, brand new. Here's a little blurb on smart contracts. I won't read through the whole thing, but the gist of smart contracts is it's something that's on the blockchain that you set up, and everything happens based on the contract. It's not somebody coming along and saying, oh no, that was a touchdown or it wasn't a touchdown. It's determined whether it's a touchdown because the ball went over the laser and the laser got activated, and that said it was a touchdown. So it's not like you've got referees on the field. This is more like like an easy example might be if there's a smart contract involved in paying for something you purchased online, and so your money didn't go to the company until the tracking information or the tracking status was updated saying it was delivered. So the company wouldn't get their money until UPS scanned the package when they delivered it to you saying that it was delivered. Once that would happen, then they would get their money. So it's smart contracts. You can think of, if I do A, B, or C, then X or Y or Z is going to happen, or these kinds of things. So these are very interesting. There's some investment type things that are happening with these, but these also can be something used to store medical information. I mean, it's endless. But if you hear the term smart contracts, I just want to give you a little brief blurb on that. Primarily started on Ethereum, is kind of where they originated in a big way. There's a crappy coin called EOS. They've been doing a little bit, and then Tron's kind of picking up the slack there because of the expense on Ethereum. Another term that's relatively recent in the history of cryptos is called DeFi, and this is just like the cryptos are decentralized. The idea with DeFi stands for decentralized finance, and this is where we're not relying on a specific institution to carry out, what we're doing. And the best example that's being used in the crypto world is like when we mentioned the blockchain, or I'm sorry, the exchanges, where you go to exchange your coins. That is a centralized place. You go there, you send your 10 Bitcoin, somebody sends their 10 Ethereum, and then you kind of trade back and forth. There's a number of decentralized exchanges, which means you don't send your coins to them and interact. You use like one of those hardware wallets or something similar to that on your computer. And so when you go to these exchanges, it attaches to your wallet, and the exchange happens between your wallet through the exchange to the other person that you're trading with. And it all just happens pretty much instantaneously, but you're not storing your coin at that exchange like you are on the centralized exchanges. So a lot of people think that's safer, which obviously it is, because you don't have the fear that that exchange is going to go down, like that Cryptopia where I lost my funds, which was only just a little amount, but it still is like, oh crap, yeah, that's, you know, I've read about those things, but when it happens to you, you're like, oh yeah, crap. So the DeFi and the decentralized exchanges are becoming more popular. A little bit more harder to use, because it's not all, you know, menus and nice and everything set up super easy like the centralized, but it is safer. Some scams that have happened in the past. The big one was called BitConnect, and it was literally a Ponzi scheme where, you know, hey, you know, you put in your Bitcoin and every day we're going to pay you out 1/10 of a Bitcoin or something like that. But it was something where, you know, the whole thing was just a Ponzi scheme. ICOs, Robert had mentioned an ICO, and that stands for initial coin offering. And that was a way for these projects to earn funds for their project. A lot of them were done on the Ethereum blockchain. So you would send Ethereum or ETH, you know, however much was involved, and then they would send you their coins. So you would get some brand new coin, and the theory was that, okay, you get this coin, it comes out at $10, and then it goes up once it's public, so to speak, on an exchange, and it goes up from there. But it's also a way to just lose your money, because there's no SEC, there's no, you know, government entity, you know, that's watching over that. So some people lost money that way. There's something called cloud mining, where you would, instead of actually mining and buying equipment and running it yourself, you would send money to somebody, and they were running these big crypto operations, but they weren't really, they were just, it was kind of a Ponzi scheme thing. Earn, you know, so much money in so many days. These fast Bitcoin generator trading bots, you know, there's like, oh, send us this, you know, send us a Bitcoin and we'll give you back 10% a week or whatever. But you would do it, and then they were gone, and you didn't have any recourse. Now that doesn't, I don't want to say that all ICOs were that way. It's just these were some areas that people got scammed. There's a lot of legit ICOs. Now there's actually some trading bots that are legit. And so I've got some of them here. One of the best ones that I found is at bitsgap.com is a trading bot. If, you know, if you guys are into, you know, actual trading, you know, day trading and that kind of thing, as opposed to long-term trading, definitely take a look at BitsGap. Now you can stake your coins, which is equivalent to just like a savings account, where you have basically keep the coins in a specific area, and they're in turn they give you back, you know, interest, and it's usually, you know, 5 to 15% kind of range, not a lot, you know, in the crypto space, but compared to your savings account or your 2% 6-month CD, you know, it's a lot. There's some smart contracts that are actually paying out like 1% a day, and they're actually using those funds to themselves go into these pools or yield farming things, which are these DeFi projects. And so what they're doing is they're creating liquidity for those exchanges, and so in turn, so when you go to a standard centralized exchange, you pay a fee to trade. And who gets the money? You get, you know, the exchange earns the money because they have the platform and the whole thing. While on the DeFi, it's not a centralized exchange, so there's not all those funds sitting in one place. So what these places will do is they want people to commit their funds into a pool to be able to trade. So in exchange for that, you can earn, I've seen some of them earn up to 200 to 300% per year, you know, which works out to 2 or 3%. Well, no, about 1% a day type of thing. So there are people in ways to earn this kind of, you know, 1% a day legitimately. I've gotten into a couple of them. I'm working on getting into this, the DeFi aspect of it, where I have a little more control. These audited smart contracts, some of them are calling themselves high yield certificates of deposit. And they basically, there's the criteria. You put your money in for this long, you earn this much, and you just sit back and relax. These other ones, the DeFi ones, you have to be more involved in keeping up with things, because sometimes the rates of return change, and you know, you might want to get out, you know, get in one, get out of another, that kind of thing. All right, so kind of a list of what I'm doing. I'm trading cryptos a little bit on that BitsGap, doing those Tron smart contracts. Still mining very selectively, because energy is still expensive here. I wish I would live in central northern Washington where the electricity was cheap, and I'd be doing much more. Like I showed you that Bitcoin and Lightning node, and then just getting started with the DeFi and those farms and pools. Here's my contact info. If you guys want to reach out for anything, then that mailing list. I'm gonna post all those links again here in the chat window. On the mailing list, I'm trying to send out updates when we are having meetings, and then as well as links to things we talk about in the meetings, as far as that goes. Yeah, give me just a second, and I'll put that back up so you can contact. So any questions you guys have? I'm sure there's got to be something somewhere. I'm going to scan back. Actually, let me post those links, and I'll scan back to the chat and see what. But anybody jump in, and you guys have any questions or need clarification?
Yeah, yesterday I was looking at Aave, the DeFi.
Okay.
And on the YouTube, someone mentioning about send 3 Aave, get 6 Aave back. And there is a link. And the Aave founder was talking on the show live. So was it really a legitimate one, or is this something that's a scam one more?
It's hard. Yeah, I can't tell you just by what you described there. If you know who the founder is and have been tracking and following it for a while.
No, I'm just new to the Bitcoin, and my friend made me to join.
Yeah, that's.
The founder is on the live show too, and it's on the video.
But do you know who the founder is? I mean, if you showed me a picture of any of these people, I wouldn't know who they were. Other than just a couple that have, that kind of thing. Yeah. So even that, to me, that doesn't make it legitimate type of thing. Now, if you go to the website and they're talking about, hey, our founder is going to be on this YouTube channel tomorrow at noon, that kind of thing, announcing a new something or other, that kind of thing. So that's, yeah, let me show you. Yeah, that would be, I would start with their website and then kind of track through from there as far as trying to see what's legit or not. Just to show you, what's it called? Some of the crazy things here. Okay, let me share this other screen. Because I know a lot of people like, okay, hey, I'm doing this crypto thing. Now, how can I make some money at it? And the trading, trading is just like trading stocks. It can be up one day, it can be down the next day. That's why some of these other things where you're staking your coins and you're just saying, hey, yeah, I'll stake it in a certain wallet, and most of them you can stake for as long as you want or short as you want. Obviously, the longer you do it, the more you get, but it's not like a 6-month CD where you're stuck in it. There's a few contracts that are like that. You can only get your money out slowly, type of thing. Sorry, let me get back to sharing. Share. There we go. Okay. So just to give you an idea, this is it's called Pancake Swap. It's at pancakeswap.finance. And so this is one of these farms where this is a farm for Cake is their own token, and BNB, which is the Binance token. And this is on the Binance chain instead of Ethereum or Tron. And so they pay you, you can earn 189% interest. That's the annual rate. So that's about 0.5% a day by staking those 2 coins in this one. And then here, here's another one, and these kinds of things. So here, here's one where it's 253, so these are crazy numbers, kind of thing. But people are earning it because they're earning all those fees on trading. I haven't gotten quite into all the details, but I saw a chart where, for example, there was 89 million in liquidity, but there was like 300 million in daily volume. So there was a ton of trading going on, and that's why you earn so much, because there was a ton of trading going on, and your coin was basically getting used 3 times each day in the trading activity. So this is where you put 2 coins in, or they have what they call a pool, where you just put in 1 coin. And this is kind of like staking, and they'll put it your stake. And so they'll say, okay, in this pool, they're earning 144% APY, annual rate. And they'll show you, okay, your stake maybe is 10% or 1% of the entire pool, and then you earn your funds that way. So, and again, I'm just getting started with these, and I'll be able to share more down the road. But this is an area, if you're looking at earning some money from your crypto holdings, this is something you want to look at. But be careful, because it's it's the Wild West. So.
And one other question. So on the Coinbase Pro, or Coinbase, sorry, plenty of coins are listed, and some we can able to buy on the Pro platform, and most of them, like certain coins which are not tradable, or not, we're not finding them in the platform to purchase. So where those coins will be purchased? Example, what coin I can give you? Sushi. We are like putting them in bigger numbers, and where we will find those coins.
Okay, so what you want to do is come to coinmarketcap.com.
Yes.
And use this search function up here. And I think I heard you. Was it sushi? Was that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you just use that for example here. So I'm going to put in sushi, and then so it comes up. Sushi swap is actually the whole name of the coin.
Yeah.
And here's a symbol is sushi. I'm clicking on that, and it's going to take me to the detail page for that coin. Has the chart and everything. Then you're going to click on market. Okay. So here is where you can buy sushi. So Binance being the big one. Now Binance.com is not available to U.S. Customers. The UN, that's the other thing when you look at crypto, this is it's a worldwide thing. So it's trading is going on 24/7. If our government decides to do something and ban this or whatever, it still goes on in the rest of the world. If China decides it doesn't like Ethereum and it tries to block Ethereum or something, Ethereum still goes on all over the rest of the world, type of thing. But Binance, they have set up a separate company called Binance.us, or a separate exchange for US customers. And it'll normally on these lists, it'll say Binance.us.
Probably the down one.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they don't support nearly the coins that the original Binance. And the original Binance, they're like one of the biggest players. They have their own blockchain. They're doing their own smart contracts on their own blockchain. So they're a serious player. It's kind of sad that we can't access them. And to answer somebody's question earlier about where did I buy Theta, I bought it a long time ago when I could still access Binance. If it shows up on Coinbase, the price is going to skyrocket because, for stuff to show up on Coinbase, it's got to be fairly popular. I'm talking the original Coinbase. And so it'll go nuts. So yeah, I don't see a Binance.us for this one, which I wouldn't expect it for this kind of coin as far as that goes. But this is the process that you want to use to search for exchanges to buy the coins.
Okay. But what, like most of the coins, which is if the number looks so good, like they're growing up and they're not present in the Coinbase Pro. And Binance is only one option, or there are any other options where I could choose the platform?
Yeah, I would. I generally don't say, bad. It's like if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. But I mentioned that crap coin before was EOS, and I just heard some shady things about them, and then this Bitfinex is kind of tied in. So you might be cautious of those two. In general, beyond that, I don't have any, bad things. Or so what I do is I look at the coin, and then I start at the top and work my way down, because these are ranked by the amount of volume. And so I want to always use an exchange that has more volume, because my trade's going to get executed faster and there should be a better price because there's more competition, that kind of thing. So, if you want to do sushi, Binance isn't going to work. So I would try OKEX. Click on that one to see about the exchange. And here's what it is. I'm going to open it up, another tab here, and then look at it and see if, is this okay for US, customers, sign up and see if you can do that. If that one doesn't look good, all right. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Young. Hopefully catch you next time. Yeah, if that one doesn't work, then just kind of work your way down and, try the next one, that type of thing. So Wabe Global, I know, is one that they don't allow US customers. This one is MXC. I stumbled across in conjunction with another coin. And they do allow US customers. I mean, that really low volume, but that one might be one you want to check out.
So when it comes to the your suggestion side, so what you can suggest to the new beginners like us, do buy only the coins listed on the Coinbase Pro, or we can put little investment on other exchange platforms too?
As far as coins, I would just kind of generic advice. I used to tell people, go to Coinbase, link to your bank account, transfer $100, buy $25 in Bitcoin, maybe Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and Ethereum. Basically buy 3 or 4 coins, those top 3. Then you have some skin in the game and can, kind of start getting involved. All right, yes, a few folks are checking out. Thank you for joining us. If you'll use that mailing list link, I will email out the info and links and this PowerPoint like somebody asked for. I'm happy to do that. And hopefully see you next time. You can, click and register now. And we'll be doing that in 2 weeks. So that one will be at 11 o'clock instead of 10. So 11 o'clock in 2 weeks. Okay, so back on the coins there. I would, that's what I, recommended in the past. I think it's still a good idea. Get set up with just a traditional Coinbase, so you can link and send funds back and forth. You know, if something happens and you want to send $500 back to your bank account, you know, then you're set up to do that type of thing. That's the downside with the Clever wallet, is there's not a way to go from crypto back to your, you know, fiat type of thing. But with the Coinbase, you can do that. So as far as which coins you want to buy, that's up to you. And, you know, obviously the bigger ones are a little more stable. You know, I would start with the ones on the top.
Yeah.
You know, maybe only sticking like in the top 20 or so. But there's always kind of new ones popping up, and, you know, this kind of thing, like this synthetics. This one is I don't think it's that old, and it's up to 24 already. Now my favorite one here, Theta, it used to be like number 100 or something like that, and it's gotten us up to 17, and then other ones have jumped, so they move back and forth a little bit. But, you know, don't start with one that's at 1600 or something like that.
Okay.
Type of thing. But that's really, you know, that's where you want to go to the white paper, see what the project is about, and hey, if that makes sense, you know, then maybe put a little bit there. There's this Polkadot. This one has come out of nowhere in the past 6 months, and they've got all kinds of stuff going on. That might be an interesting one to look at.
But where do you buy these things?
Pardon me?
Where do we buy that Polkadot? Is
So
that
then you'd click on the Polkadot there, and then the market, and then it's going to show us the markets.
it's again okay? Binance is not in the coin. Okay.
Yeah, so, you know, Binance is pretty much can always be at the top because they're the big boys. You know, it's like the New York Stock Exchange.
We cannot buy.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, even though we can't buy at these top two, maybe OKEX works. You know, one of these other ones, that type of thing. So this is the process. Here's Kraken. Now that exchange has been around for a long time. Oh yeah, thanks, Andy and Kraken. And like you mentioned, look at the trading volume. Just back on the main page, so you can see how much, you know, volume is traded. So even though, like, here's a good example between Cardano and Polkadot, there's, you know, almost 3 times as much Cardano traded versus Polkadot, even though their market cap is almost the same.
Yeah.
Type of thing. You know, now like this Tether, this is a stable coin that you know, is used to basically duplicate the dollar. So there's a ton. I mean, even this amount is double Bitcoin, but that's just because people are using it to trade in and out of. So that's kind of a bad example. But here's another one between Chainlink and Bitcoin Cash. You know, Chainlink is higher market cap, but is only half the volume. But anything in these top 20 is generally going to be enough volume to worry about. You know, if you go way down, I don't even know. Yeah, here, yeah, this DX chain token, 348,000. You know, that's like nothing a day compared to some, you know, even this next one down here is 90 million kind of thing. So those ones you might want to, you know, watch out and avoid, just because, hey, might not be able to get out of it or whatever, this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you start with, you know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoins, I don't know, I expected them to do a little more. Compared to where I was a year or two ago, I'm a little disappointed with Litecoin not seeing a little more action there. But Tron, I think Tron, I've been kind of doing more with Tron. That one's getting interesting.
How about EOS? What is
the EOS? That's the one that I'm a little questionable on. Just the way it doesn't seem to be as decentralized as others, where there's some big players that are involved. The way the network is set up, and they can kind of do the things that they want, as opposed to being a you know, truly decentralized kind of thing, where there's about, they have, yeah, like 10 or 12 or 15 like nodes that are potentially making the decisions on things. So
How can you tell?
How could I tell that?
How can you tell how decentralized they are?
That is just from reading about the coin and you know,
Okay.
basically research. And research on crypto is a lot of like watching YouTube videos and following some YouTube, you know, YouTubers that follow that, you know, talk about cryptocurrency. So that's the other thing is, you know, there's all this information out there. Find a couple YouTubers that you like. Let me put up a link. It's the domain that's in my email, but I finally put this website, supereasycryptotrading.com is my site. And I have some links to some videos and YouTube channels to follow. If you guys want to start, let me show you those real quick. At least somewhere to start. It's by no means an exhaustive list, but that's where a lot of the information seems to get exchanged. You know, and there's also a couple sites, CoinDesk.com and CoinTelegraph.com are two good news sites for crypto. So if you click on Learn here, come on. Okay, so I've got a bunch of just basic. I'd been meaning to do this for years. I finally did it last year. Is just, you know, kind of here's some basic stuff about. But at the bottom, yeah, there's one about smart contracts. And then here's some channels to follow. So I'd start with those. And when you start watching these crypto videos, YouTube will suggest other ones. And, you know, then you could check those out as well.
Yeah. It's a great presentation so far. Great.
Good. Good. Yeah. Anyone else? Questions or suggestions, or is there something you're trying to do that you're, you know, there's a roadblock and you're not sure what to do next or how to get around it? You know, just like this gentleman had, you know, where do I buy the coin? That kind of thing. Okay, let's see. Oh, Frank isn't with us. Okay, Robert, anything else you could think of to throw in? I know you've been at the.
Yeah, no, you know, somebody was asking about, you know, looking at CoinMarketCap and the top 4 or 5, you know, just one word of caution. It's like XRP, it looks like it's good, but, you know, just realize there is some news, you know, they're being investigated by the SEC. So, I mean, it's kind of, what I'm seeing is more of a hold or a kind of sell, even though it's in the top 10.
Yeah, and I'm gonna throw in the counterpoint to that. I totally believe what you just said and understand it. I took the more cynical approach because this has kind of happened sometimes where some news has come out, coins or stocks have gone down, and then the news gets lifted and it goes away and the coin takes off. And just the way all this happened with Ripple or XRP, I took the counterpoint. I actually bought some when that happened. And so far I'm in a good spot, but you never know.
Yeah, no, I hold XRP too. So I bought before the SEC, but you know, even that, I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to hold it because they had a challenge from SEC a couple of years ago, and they actually hired like one of the former chairmen of it, and they prevailed. And it sounds like this time, to me, it looks like they may prevail on this as well. So they're going to battle.
Yeah, yeah, that was that whole issue. Is it a security or not? And it's yeah.
Yeah, but I'm holding it. So I mean, and now actually probably be not a bad time to buy because the price point is a bit lower than, you know, some months ago.
Yeah, well, the challenge right now is everything has gone up so crazy the past 6 weeks, like 6 to 8 weeks, that it's like everything looks good if you look at the long-term chart. But you know, we could go down 20%, you know, everything. But you know, if you're in it for the long term, you got to just jump in somewhere. I mean, like I said before, the other gentleman, just start with $100
Mhm.
and just start looking around and learning how the wallet works, that kind of thing. And that's what we're going to do
Mhm.
next time in 2 weeks is, okay, set up the wallet. Here's how to transfer the coins. I mean, some of these basic things is what I want you guys to understand and be able to do just so you can interact in the crypto world. This is basically equivalent to getting an ATM card, setting up a PIN, and knowing how to work the debit card, at Target, at an ATM machine, that kind of thing. So that's kind of the basis where I wanted to make sure you guys are there. Then we can get to the more money making things and that kind of stuff. But until you know how to transfer coins from one place to another, and that, you can't do anything. So
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I am looking forward to it, because even though we've kind of been together for over a couple of years, the confidence in moving it around, I still am not fully confident, and I would like to be able to just quickly move and then put it into a wallet with less fear of losing it. And even
Okay.
there was one that was just hacked that was kind of a stronghold that, they lost $11 million worth of coin. I don't remember what it was. It was
Yeah.
just this week.
Wow. Yeah, no, and that's a real fear. I mean, I hear that from people that, if you send the wrong coin to the wrong wallet, it's gone, kind of thing. And so that's a fear. But once you get it and you do it a few times, you'll be comfortable. So that's good.
Yeah.
Hey, Frank, I saw you jump on the video there. Where are you at? I think you got to unmute there. I know we'd been talking about Coinbase a little bit. Had you looked at any other wallets?
No, not really. The Coinbase came recommended from a fellow that has been doing some investing on some other things. When I talked to you before, I was asking about I think it's called Swift Coin Tech, and you didn't have any background on that and so forth. So I've been doing some research on that. It's a company out of Singapore. And anyway, I've been trying to do some research on it to see if it's legit and stuff like that. When we get a chance to talk a little bit about setting up the Coinbase and stuff like that, I'll share some information with you that I've received and see what your thoughts are on it.
Okay.
We haven't gotten down to Fresno yet because we're still playing with snow up here and stuff like that. So I know you're available on a Saturday, so we'll get together. I haven't forgotten you. You're on my radar, and I do want to do some things with this, but I want to get your input first.
Okay. Well, I knew you were kind of in the similar spot for the topic that we're covering today, so I kind of wanted to see where you were at. And so is your goal to kind of put some money somewhere to invest and get a return?
Well, basically, I'm going to set up a different bank account. I don't want to use my bank account per se and stuff like that with routing numbers and all that stuff. So I'm going to be getting another bank, setting up a small account. And your advice was good. Put in $100 or whatever and stuff like that. But this particular program, they have different amounts to go in and stuff like that. So the plan is to open up an account, then make sure that I've got the routing number and everything set up so that when we get into a Bitcoin app, I've got that vehicle to go back and forth. And then if the investments turn out to be profitable, then I'll be able to get that into my own personal accounts. But I want to use a kind of a pseudo dummy bank account to go back and forth and stuff like that. And then pretty much keep it cleaned out and stuff like that.
Okay, so it sounds like there's something a little more involved than just the crypto there. If it's an investment kind of company.
Correct.
Somebody mentioned something to me similar to that I'm exploring a little more today. I mean, there's just so many of these things out there.
Yeah.
Your head will spin. So yeah, no, we'll talk more and good. But yeah, I would encourage you to do try the Coinbase or the Clever Wallet, or just try something. You can set it up and not put any money into it too.
I think when we were doing working with Jay stuff on the wholesale stuff, I think you set me up with Wallet, because I looked at my phone, and I think I've got a wallet app on it or something like that. So,
Okay.
but anyway, I thought, well, we'll get together and find a place where we can chit chat either indoors or outdoors, whatever the case may be,
Right.
and go from there. But the information that I've researched and came across, I think it might be of some worth. I talked to Lori Buffington about it a little bit. She gave me her input. She sent me over to you, and I knew that you were playing around with the Bitcoin and wholesale stuff has kind of gone with Jay. So he was the only one that I had a chance to play around with. I talked to Stratton Brown a couple times, but I'm just kind of with the move to Arizona. I'm just thinking, well, I better leave that stuff alone for a while.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see if anybody else has any more questions on the crypto front there. Yeah, and like the $100, I kind of throw that out just because it's a small amount, and it seems to be people have a mental hurdle, and I'm trying to get them over that hurdle. Like just start somewhere. Even the $50 or just a lot of these things you can set up the account even without funding it. Like the exchange accounts, like the Poloniex or the whichever ones, like Binance we can't do, but Binance.us, you can create an account. And you can't even put you have to create the account and get that set up before you can even transfer funds into it. So at least you could do that,
Yeah, no, and I've taken your advice too, as well as doing small things. So it's like even moving money around because I'm not confident, that's one of the things that bother me a bit about it is the transaction, the gas fee. But,
Yeah.
in order to kind of overcome the confidence issue, moving things around, I'll take just fractions and just say, screw it, I'm going to pay the 20 cents or whatever it is for that fee and just move $10 from here to here, make sure the addresses are correct, and then I'll do my major transaction after that validates. Just to kind of give me some comfort, it's worth spending 50 cents to validate what you're doing instead of losing everything.
Right. Okay, yeah, somebody asked, let's see, Thanda, how can I buy the hash mass? I just pulled that site up here. Let me share this, and then maybe you can you have your audio on there? Can you talk about this for a second?
Yeah, these are like the artists and all put it on this hash marks, and then through the wallet, you have to buy it. But I don't understand how it works. It's kind of complicated when I was reading it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know if I was sharing the right. Here we go. Okay, hopefully you guys can see this here now. Is a collection of digital portraits. Oh gosh, okay. Yeah, see, this is an example of some interesting, somebody had an idea and oh my gosh. Okay, so it looks like you're doing it with this NC.
That's a name changing token. So it will change your name it will kind of change your name so that you are kind of the owner. It will define your ownership kind of thing, but it looks very complicated.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay, so what's your goal? Okay, hash mask is it's on the Ethereum blockchain. Okay, so generally anything that's on Ethereum blockchain, you're going to use an Ethereum wallet, and Ethereum has what they call them is ERC20 tokens. Those are the coins or the tokens that are on the Ethereum blockchain. So if you see ERC20, that's the kind of thing they are, and they'll be in your Ethereum wallet, but they'll usually be a subsection. So you show your like 5 Ethereum coins, and then below that'll be a whole list of other coins that you could potentially use. And so this coin is one of those. Wow, this is wow. Okay, I don't have my wallet. Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about this other than I can tell you that it's on the Ethereum blockchain. So let's go back to here and search for the coin and see. name changing token. Okay, so it's number 1039. And let's go to the market tab and see where to buy it. Okay, so all right, so Uniswap is one of these decentralized exchanges. So you're going to need to well, pretty much go there. It looks like this. Yeah, that's what I would do. And yeah, so you're going to need do you have a wallet right now anywhere with Ethereum in it?
I have a wallet, but I can transfer it from Coinbase back to wallet. Yeah.
Okay, for these things, and this is a little more advanced, but I'll just give you, heads up. Well, this is perfect. What we'll talk about next time is to do these things. You need a wallet that's connected in your browser, and the best one that you want to use is called MetaMask. Is where I would start.
I have that. Yeah, I
Oh, you
downloaded,
do?
but never put anything into it. Yeah.
Okay, because this is where you need this type of a wallet to work with these decentralized exchanges. So get some Ethereum into your MetaMask wallet, then go to Uniswap, and then you can buy the NCT token.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can see here they've got almost 3/4 of the volume for that coin. So that's definitely where you want to go. Good. And then maybe next time you can show us how that works a little more, because I'm still relatively new to that myself.
Yeah, they have like a list of so many beautiful arts, but the sale goes over really fast. Means someone just sold for like 600,000 one art. They bought it for 0.1 ether here.
Wow.
And there's a website called Open Seas or Open something Seas, and you can sell your things on the like a distributed website. You can sell it again.
Huh. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's like a whole phase 2 or phase 3 to the crypto stuff, but it's fascinating what people are doing. And this is just another example of, you couldn't do this without crypto type of thing, what they're doing. I mean, at least very efficiently. But with crypto, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. All right, any other questions? I know we've been gone. Oh, yeah, we're almost up to 2 hours here, so I don't want to hold you guys too long or all that. So any other questions real quick?
No, but I want to give you a shout out. You did a really good job. I'm so new at this stuff, and some of it is starting to fall together. So, Brad, bless you, bless you, bless you.
Good. All right, that's the goal, is just to learn a little bit each time. So awesome. All right, guys.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Hope to see you in 2 weeks, and we'll kind of pick up where we left off here, get those wallets set up. If you want to do that ahead of time as much as you can, that's good too. I will see you in 2 weeks. Take care.
Thank you, Brad.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you, Brad.